Moves is made, niggas is paid. That's just how it is. When my time is up, I'ma be out, but I'ma try to live. I mean, day by day, ain't nothing sweet about it. Act like you don't know what I'm saying? You read about it. Built for war, like an armadillo. Smother your ass, two through the pillow. Cause my shit is brilliant. Manic depressive and my head hurts. No, give me your dough and your hoe in here. Take these phone. Hot things, I got things that make niggas spin. Put niggas in the wind where you never see niggas again. I bless a nigga with stitches for thin tight. And a straight razor will put pinstripes across your windpipe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This was sad news to announce that DMX Earl Simmons has passed away at the age of 50 years old. And man, this is just like a gut punch, dog. Like for real, I'm just really down about it. I'm really sad about it. I just been crying and crying and crying because of how much DMX like meant to me and how much I understand that DMX meant to hip hop. It's just crazy, man. And he was just a warrior, just a fighter. He fought for years, man, battling his addictions and prison and everything like that, being a dad and everything, just the industry, a lot of different things, man, and dealing with like the past traumas of his life and his childhood and stuff like that. It hurts deeply, that last week when we got the reports last weekend of him, what I'm saying, suffering the OD and just being in grave condition in the ICU this whole time. Shout out to all the fans and the friends and family that went out and supported, that just prayed for him every day outside of the hospital where he was being kept at. That was just like remarkable, and it's a good thing that we all came together with the hope that he could survive the situation, that he could make it out, that a miracle could happen. You know what I'm saying? No matter how unlikely that it would be, we all had hope that a miracle would happen and that DMX would still be here with us, and I'm getting kind of choked up now thinking about it. Pardon me, man. I became a DMX fan when I was a kid. My dad was a DJ, so my dad had to, just be up on all the music. So, reasons why I do this steak and egg shit, reason why I do this hip hop stuff is because of my dad and because of artists like DMX and Jay-Z and even KRS-One and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and Biggie, and DMX is a product of that. And I feel like I'm a product of artists like DMX. I went to see DMX in concert when I was 9 years old at the Hard Knock Life tour that they eventually made the Backstage movie off of. I remember those summers of when hip hop was just lit. I can just remember the breeze. I can remember what the sun was like outside. I can remember what it was like for every car to be jamming to Rough Riders Volume 1 or to It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, Rough Riders Volume 2. The first time I heard DMX, he was on Money, Power, Respect with the Locks, and then he was on Take What's Yours off of Mace album and on 24 Hours to Live. And then it was just like eventually he just like stepped through the door with Get At Me Dog and just kind of just like really, bum rushed his way through the industry with a movement with the Rough Riders, and they had bikes and they had, like bikes and ATVs. They had dogs, pit bulls, Rottweilers. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just something ill. And at the same time, while they were making their mark in the industry, you had Rockefeller, and to know that and Murder Inc., and Rockefeller and Murder Inc. and Rough Riders were like a big tandem. You know what I'm saying? I remember they were making it like DMX, Jay-Z, and Ja Rule were going to be a group, a trio, and they had songs with each other to kind of solidify that, you know what I'm saying? And that was the catalyst for them to do the Rock the Mic tour. I mean, not the Rock the Mic tour, but the Hard Knock Life tour. You know what I'm saying? So as a kid, I got to see that. I got to experience that as a kid. My dad tricked us, and you know, the Matrix had just came out that day or the day before, if I'm not mistaken, and they came to town for the concert. And I'm not even thinking that we're gonna go to the concert. Like as much as I wanted to go to the concert, and you gotta think I'm 8, 9 years old, and it's like hip hop was this big thing for me because I had been raised up in it, you know what I'm saying, prior to that. So, you know, when you got this new regime of artists, this is after Biggie and Pac have passed away. And so hip hop is looking for who's gonna be those next guys. And here comes DMX and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And man, when I tell you what it was like as a 9-year-old to experience something like that, you know, I got to experience that. I got to see him again when I was about 22 and he came to town, and I got to see him perform again. But I'll never forget that feeling of seeing DMX perform when I was a 9-year-old kid, man, with, you know, Method Man and Redman and Jay-Z. Jay-Z had the entire Rockefeller there. You know, Ja Rule was there. Eve Dragon, the Locks was there. You know, it was something so epic, man. And he was riding off of the high of It's Dark and Hell is High that came out, and it was successful. And within that same year, just months apart, he did Flesh on My Flesh, Blood on My Blood. And Flesh on My Flesh is one of my favorite DMX albums. Like, man, back when I had a Gold Impala, I listened to that album every day. Any nigga that hopped in my car had to listen to that album, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how much DMX means to me, man. To personally be affected, just seeing him go through his episodes of, you know, depression and addiction and everything. And I remember they had like a show on BET, and I used to watch the show. And he had went to prison on the show, and then he had got out, and I remember him being down there in Arizona and everything like that. Like this has always been my guy, always been one of my favorite rappers, bro. And you know, I wish life was a little bit different for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that we got to get his presence. And like I said in my last Nipsey video as well, um, it's crazy how you can get attached to somebody through music, through just their presence, through sound, you know, relating to their stories, and their stories be similar to what you going through or what yours. And so to understand that his story of everything he went through as a kid with his mom, him going off to like boarding school and stuff like that. He just a humble dude, just humility. Like, you know, I remember Swiss Beats saying that X was one of those dudes that, you know, just because you were homeless or anything like that, he didn't think different of you. He looked at you like you were a human being as well. No matter how much money he had, you know what I'm saying? No matter how much success he had, he never was afraid to stay grounded as much as possible. Um, just being a dad, I mean, he had a lot of kids, but he was still someone's dad, bro. You know, it's sad, man, and it hurts. And I was happy that he tried to hold on as much as possible. I'm happy that he tried to hold on for as long as he could. For years he's been trying to hold on for as long as he could. But this time he was really trying to hold on, but I think it was just a little bit um too late for him, man. RIP DMX, man. Without DMX, we wouldn't have artists like Young Berg and Hitmaker. You know, Rough Riders wouldn't be Rough Riders if it wasn't for DMX. You know, just like his voice was an instrument. You know, he could just do the hook of a song and make that song uh like you could feel his presence on the song. Like, you know, for him to hop on Money Cash Hoes with Jay-Z, and on the remix he has a verse, but on the original version he just has the hook, but he makes Money Cash Hoes, Money Cash Hoes. You know what I'm saying? He makes that song that song. He makes Take What's Yours with Mace that song because he did the hook, and his presence and his voice could be used as an instrument that, like, you know, his scream that you know what I'm saying? It was like, and how There will never be another DMX. There will never be another Earl Simmons, bro. There will never be another dude that really sit here and name off about 20 women on the song talking about what these chicks want from me. And you know, it hurts, bro. It hurts so bad, man. It hurts so bad. I'm hurting for hip hop, just being a fan and a student of hip hop and of the game. And like I said, just growing up in this, man, with my dad being a DJ. So you know, but he was connected to DMX on a personal level because he felt his pain and he felt his story. And DMX was one of his favorite rappers. And we just always listened to DMX growing up. And I remember a few months ago on Facebook, some dude was just saying, like, oh, you know, this was around the time King Von passed away. And some dude was just like, oh, if we keep losing all these rappers, we gonna have to be stuck listening to DMX. And I was straight just like my nigga, like real niggas never stop listening to DMX, bro. And he was like, yes, we have. We not listening to DMX. And I'm like, we, who's we, my nigga? Like, I never stopped listening to DMX, bro. Never, bro. You know what I'm saying? Never have I ever, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro, he might have dropped albums later on in his career that probably wasn't hidden as much, but DMX is DMX, and you can't take that from him. You can't take away what he did to the industry, what he did for the game, who he is as a poet, as a lyricist, as a God-fearing man. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude can really sit here and do prayer. He would always stop a show and do a prayer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude did a prayer at the Hard Knock Life tour when I was 9. Like, stopped the show and did a prayer, bro. Like, this has always been him. And I'm just happy that when we started up the Steak and Eggs thing and we started really putting videos on YouTube, and last year during quarantine, there was a video of DMX that we posted that if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link in the you know, at the end of the video. But it was of DMX really just giving real good game and real gems to like survival and just life and trust in God and everything. And that's just who he was, you dog. Like he was just like a real solid human being, bro. Real solid human being, bro. You know, we got the experiences verses with Snoop Dogg. So he was just in the studio with Benny the Butcher laying down music, bro. Like, why, X, man? Why did you have to go, man? Why did you have to go, man? Like, you grow up and think that people supposed to live forever, and you expect it. You know what I'm saying? And it hurts, you know. But I will always just say, man, that I love DMX for just being a real person, for just being a real artist, a real lyricist, a real poet, never being afraid to be vulnerable. Um, you know, I have countless of favorite songs by him. Some of my favorite moments is when he's never afraid to speak his mind on if he likes an artist or not. He, you know, saying I remember when he didn't really care for Drake or Rick Ross or Jeezy and everything like that. And it's like when he speaks on it, it's like he really don't be like fucking with niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like nothing impresses him. Like, he just, you know, I guess he alright. I guess he alright, you know. But it was funny last year when he was confused. He got Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo mixed up, so he was confused. And he was like, Lloyd Banks, like, dude, whack, man, he whack. And it like was this big ordeal and everything like that. And then come to find out, like a few days later, he was like, oh no, I fuck with Banks. I fuck with Banks. I meant Tony Yayo. That's the whack one. Like, so it's like, man, it's just like you always find some like type of humor through what he would do or say, man. The time he was on the roller coaster with his daughter and shit, you know. I love X, man. This one really hurts, man. I'm torn by it. I'm really messed up about it. Long live the dog. Long live Earl Simmons, man. You did so much for me and for kids like me and for hip hop. Um, I'm probably not gonna stop crying, but I'm gonna listen to this music and watch these movies that he did, man, and let his legacy continue on, man. Double R Rough Riders for life, dog. Thank you so much, DMX, man, for everything you did for me and just inspiring me to be able to do this shit that I'm doing right here. You know what I'm saying? And so, RIP to DMX, man. Y'all take care.
Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, trust. It takes too much energy to not trust someone. You know what I mean?
takes too much energy. You only got to stay 2 steps ahead of them, whatever. But trust them to beat them.
To beat themselves.
Trust the snake to bite you. Trust the lion to lie. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like trust them to beat them. But know them when you see them.